Tonight's project is going to be a wood turning based project, and I'm going to help you improve your accuracy when it comes round to spindle turning. And to do that, we're going to be making the ultimate outside calipers. So hope you enjoy tonight's video. So I'm going to show you a standard pair of calipers that have been set to a width I want. So if I was parting down for a bottom of a cove or something, I'd set the width. And what I'd normally do is hold them from behind and use a parting tool to go down to my depth. So I'm going to show you what can happen with just a standard pair of these calipers, and we'll compare the difference then between the improved ones. So what I'd normally do is hold the calipers from behind, so lightly touching the wood, come in with my parting tool, if you saw then we had a slight catch because the 2 points were touching and the points dug in. So if we have a look at this, you can see that they're off centered now because of that catch. So if we bring them together, you can actually see that's gone off by a good sort of 3mm. So I'm going to show you a way we can avoid this from happening and how you can get accurate results with these outside calipers each time. So the easy solution to stop this from happening is to weld on two washers. Now the idea behind this, as the wood's turning and you're holding the washers up to the back of the piece, they don't tend to catch as the sharp points on the previous one. So I've just straightened this up and I'm going to be welding on some washers. I'm going to show you my process of doing that. Now I'm not a professional welder by any means. I'm very much an amateur and a hobbyist when it comes to welding, but I've managed to do this and it does the job. I've connected my clip up to an old piece of railway track. I've got two washers there and some calipers. Then I've cleaned up the surfaces I want to weld with some wet and dry paper to make sure they haven't got any paint on them. And I'm just going to line them up like this. And I'm going to be using an arc welder to do this. So I'm just going to be creating the arc as I strike on. And we're going to be attaching these two washers then to the calipers. If you didn't have a welder, you could use a strong epoxy resin, or you could braze it with some silver solder or plumbing solder into place. But you just want to make sure you've got a strong joint between these washers and the outside calipers itself. So I'm going to put on some heatproof gloves and a welding visor to do this. So we'll just let that cool down for a bit, but that's all welded into place now. So we just clean those up a little bit and we can respray them then with some black spray paint, something from rusting. So that seems to have worked pretty well. I'll show you how they work then on the lathe. So parting down then using the rounded calipers, you can see I've set this down to quite a small parting. So we're going to see how this goes. Right, accurately got to size, and it was just far easier then to remove these and pull them out without getting a catch. Now the handy thing about parting down to an accurate length is if you're doing a series of coves or you wanted to make beads and things, doing spindle work, you can use then a spindle gouge to sort of turn down to those grooves that you've put in. I'm just going to show you that really quick. And say if I was doing 10 or 15 of these, this would be quite a nice easy way of making sure they're all the same size. So hope you've really enjoyed tonight's video, and that if you do decide to make a pair of calipers like these, they get many happy hour reviews. So I hope this has been useful for you in some way. If you have enjoyed tonight's video, please consider subscribing and I can get some more woodworking or wood turning videos your way. Hope you have a great night, North Star.